Teachers, I thank you for attending this meeting to discuss the various issues that are occurring in the West Virginia school districts. Myself and superintendents across West Virginia are working very closely with the West Virginia governor and the West Virginia legislators to formulate a new deal to get our teachers better pay, benefits, and keep our students in school.
As you can see, the teachers are voicing their displeasure with the way their salary is being handled. They feel their work deserves more recognition and should be rewarded for their efforts. We see this as a way of challenging the process because we as a nation throughout history haven't heard of many teacher walkouts. We've seen students and workers go on walkouts and strikes before, but never really teachers. On top of that, this was one of the first times teachers went public and voiced their concerns to the public instead of behind closed doors to the board and the superintendent. These teachers risk their jobs to fight for the opportunity of better pay.
We demand a raise right now. We've been working for 5 years straight without a raise. This is ridiculous. The amount of work we put in to teach these kids and educate them is not worth the amount of money you're paying us. The cost of living has increased every single year, yet neither has our pay. So I don't know what's going on, but you need to fix it.
I agree. I can barely cover my insurance each month. What if my kid gets sick? What am I supposed to do then?
Yeah, how do you expect me to pay for 3 kids, a mortgage, car payments, and feed them all on this little bit amount of money? It's not fair.
Listen, I hear your frustrations and I understand your issues. Let me please propose a compromise. Can we reach an agreement together?
I mean, we need at least a 5% increase. Like, it's just not fair. Like he said, the cost of living is going up. How can we afford to live here?
5% is just too much at this time. Can I please offer you 2% over the next 2 years? We desperately need our children back in school and we need you at their side.
What do you guys think?
I thought we can talk about it, maybe work something out, but I don't know about 2%. That's kind of low for us.
Okay. Well, let's work from there. We laid this groundwork, and I'm glad we are able to, have an open discussion about this.
Finally.
After a strike that lasted 7 long days, the teachers and the board were able to come to a compromise that allowed the schools to reopen, but more importantly, pay teachers more. We have just provided a real-life example of challenge the process. By definition, leaders who challenge the process search for opportunities to change the status quo. They look for innovative ways to improve the organization. In doing so, they experiment and take risks. Because leaders know that risk-taking involves mistakes and failures, they accept the inevitable disappointments as learning opportunities. Challenge the process does not mean challenge the values or standards, nor does it mean attacking other people's norms or ideas. Challenge the process is all about finding and implementing new and better ways of doing things in order to constantly improve and grow. Now we will show some other real-life examples in which people challenge the process to create changes in our world.
Movie Moneyball exemplifies a baseball team who truly challenges the process. In this film, we see motivated individuals attempting to alter the normal method of building a baseball team. With their franchise's low budget, the Oakland A's front office must find a new approach in order to transform their organization into a successful one. To achieve this goal, they use sabermetrics, a statistically heavy approach, to build their team. This exemplifies this challenge the process as the organization experiments and takes risks with this different approach and deals with the possibility of failure. The relational leadership model is applied in this example as the A's front office actively engages in a diverse approach to building a baseball powerhouse.
Now, let's look at a very simplistic yet powerful approach to challenge the process using an example of vending machines. A normal vending machine consists of various snacks and beverages. However, these machines are stocked with items like Beats headphones, cell phones, iPods, tablets, and other electronic devices. These are often seen at airports, train stations, and malls, and are completely different from the ordinary vending machines that we traditionally see. Although this is a very basic example, those who came up with this idea definitely challenged the process. This is an innovative business idea that attempts and succeeds in selling more products. The idea involved exercising the thought of failure by spending a lot of money to purchase and install these special vending machines, and also experimented with outside-of-the-box ideas in order to improve the company as a whole. This example relates to the purposeful aspect of the RLM because Apple has a commitment to the goal of an innovative sales approach that will hopefully create a positive change in their profit.
Through tactics of civil disobedience, Martin Luther King Jr. was able to challenge the process of attempting to bring change to the civil rights of African Americans in America. MLK demonstrates ethical RLM with his use of nonviolent protests such as marching and speeches as a form of bringing changes at his risk. While others around him were being violent toward him, he brought upon new ideas of peaceful marches, speeches, and protests. Trying to stay nonviolent while the people around you are being violent and showing aggression isn't easy, but in the end, it paid off, and we now look at MLK as a powerful, influential, and moral leader of our civil rights period.
The superintendent of the Blue Mountain School District in Harrisburg recently equipped his students with rocks to protect themselves against potential school shooters. The superintendent's bold stance challenges the status quo. Never before have we seen something like this, but with the world we live in, and with all the school shootings that have occurred in just 2018 alone, desperate times call for desperate measures. We are looking for all forms of ways to eliminate school shooters. Some of the risks involved with this idea include the promotion of violence and students causing harm to fellow students. However, this is a good representation of the relational leadership model because the superintendent decided to empower the students by putting the power of self-defense in their hands.
Through all these examples, you are able to see how challenge the process is applied in many different areas. The core elements of the relational leadership model were shown through each example. Furthermore, we were able to show the three attitudes of the relational leadership model through these examples. With knowing, teachers in West Virginia knew what they had to do to create change, and by protesting were able to make that change occur. With being, in Moneyball, they were able to be open and inclusive, focusing on getting cheaper players and making them into great players. And finally, doing. Martin Luther King exemplified this in the civil rights movement through his active involvement in his community in socially responsible ways to bring about the change he wanted to see. Challenge the process is an extremely important step in the 5 practices of exemplary leadership. Without it, leaders would not push the boundaries of what already exists and would not improve upon anything for the greater good. It is a method which allows leaders to find and implement new and better ways of doing things in order to keep up momentum and push him/herself and his/her followers and peers to grow as much as possible. It allows for concrete change to occur using thoughtful, innovative, and creative methods. It truly helps to build a well-rounded, socially responsible leader.